good morning. Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday. What a day in college football yesterday. Me personally, I didn't see that coming. I'm not a big college football fan, but I do, watch the top 25 and see what they do. I may go on record and say this might be the first time that 5 top 10 teams get knocked off, and none of them was a top 10 team to beat them. You have 5 top 10 teams get beat yesterday by non-5 top 10 teams. In fact, only one of them got beat by a top 20 team, and that was Washington, who got beat by USC, who was number 20. I'm going to go on record and say that might have been the first time in college football history that 5 top 10 teams lost and did not get beat by another top 10 team. By another top 10 team. You had Clemson get knocked off by Pitt. You had Michigan get knocked off by Iowa. You had Washington, as I said, get knocked off by USC. They were ranked number 20. You had Texas A&M get knocked off by Mississippi. And then you had Auburn get knocked off by Georgia. Yesterday, I said it should just been an easy day for the top teams. But no, this is why you got to play the games. Exactly. This is why you got to play the game. Yeah, teams will love to spoil your dreams out there. You got to suit up and play the game. Clemson's been was ranked number 2. They've been playing close games all year. Finally, it came up and bit them. It caught up to them. Auburn, good team. Georgia just playing for, to salvage the season. Probably didn't want to go under 500 or go at 500. So, they was going to play their best ball at home. Michigan, this high-flying, scoring attack, let Iowa upset them. It was a surprising day yesterday. And again, whether it's college football, college basketball, or any other sport, this is why you got to play the games. Because games are not won on paper. As simple as that. You got to play the game. So the rankings is going to get interesting. You'd be surprised with that many top 5 teams losing. Probably the rankings don't change much because, who's going up? and how many spaces you going to go down, considering that the team below you might have went down too. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting come Tuesday afternoon when the rankings are in. But what a display in college football. I don't think I've seen anything like that before. But again, that is why you got to play the games. Moving along into the association, the NBA, that is. I'm going to start out with the little Lakers that are led by Luke. If you'd have told me that the first 10 games of the season, that the Lakers would be 6-4 and have secured a playoff spot, I would have asked you, what are you drinking? I would have never thought so. But yes, that's where the little Lakers, led by Luke, are right now. 6-4. And what's impressive to me is that they are winning road games. It's easy to play at home. Crowd is behind you. You got the fans coming in there. Maybe someone is tired from flying to your place. Maybe they're on a back-to-back. Maybe they're coming from the East Coast. Whatever the case might be. But the Lakers are winning on the road. I tell you, this is an impressive back-to-back victories, if you ask me. Sacramento on Thursday night. And then they go into New Orleans. And I know New Orleans is struggling. Don't get me wrong. I know they're struggling. All right? In some people's mind, they got one of the top 10 players in the game at Anthony Davis. So on most nights, New Orleans is going to have the best player on the court. But I got to give the Lakers a lot of credit. They went into New Orleans and they pulled out the win. Way to go, Lakers. And I happened to catch a post-game interview of Julius Randle, and he talked about confidence. And one thing I know, man, confidence and courage can outweigh talent sometimes, man. When you got that pep in your step and you got that energy, or you feeling that vibe, like, we're doing things right. We can't be stopped. We can't be beat. Man, that's contagious. It's also dangerous. It can pump a team up. It can pump a teammate up. It can pump coaching staff. It can pump the fan base up. I didn't see this coming. But I tell you what, man, for all the Laker fans that endured some bad seasons, man, this is a good look. I still don't think they'll be a playoff team. I don't know if they can maintain this for 82 seasons. But with the first 10 games in, no doubt in my mind, they're the most improved team. And Luke Walton is Coach of the Year. And the funny thing about it, Luke Walton was in the same position last year at Golden State, where first 10 games in, we were saying he was the Coach of the Year. So kudos to the Lakers. Kudos to Luke Walton and his staff of having the Lakers prepared and ready to go. Let's put it that way, man. They're well prepared, they're well coached, and they are ready to go. And their confidence is just building and building and building and building. I look around the association, Utah, who I didn't agree with the pundits that they're going to be this playoff team this year. And I tell you what, they're impressing me with these road wins. They just pulled off, I believe, their third road win in a row. They just got back their main guy and Hayward, Gordon Hayward. They got some veterans over there. They may be there towards the end. This might be a top 6 team out in the West. They're looking good, playing some good ball on the road. A lot of talent. 2 at every position. I'm very impressed. I must say that. And Atlanta Hawks, another team that I wasn't high on. They continue their winning ways. Yeah, it was Philadelphia, but Philadelphia just came off that stunning win against Indiana at home. And as I said the day after that game, one thing about Philadelphia, they're going to be well coached and well prepared. So kudos to Atlanta to continue their winning ways. So Chicago, they continue their winning ways. Is there a more disappointing team in the league than the New York Knicks? Is it really? Is there a more disappointing team in the league than the New York Knicks? Maybe Washington Wizards. Maybe the New Orleans Pelicans. But I'm going to put the New York Knicks in that category. As they continue to struggle, they're 3-6 to start the season. I just don't know about these guys. They played a very good game. They lost by 11 last night. The score clearly doesn't indicate how close the game was. I think it was something like 30-plus lead changes in this game. They got to the point under a minute left, trailing by 4 or 5 points. They start doing some fouling and putting up some bad shots. So the score don't really indicate what the game was like. But this is a game, you're on the road. You got to try to find a way to win this game. I mean, you really do. Carmelo had it going. KP, he came to play. Derrick Rose put up some numbers. Let's talk about Porzingis. This guy comes to play every game. He's got an arsenal. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's got to learn to play this game with his feet and not his hands. He's going to have to learn to play this game with his feet and not his hands. He's picking up too many unnecessary foul trouble because he's not sliding his feet and he's reaching with his hand. We need to correct that because we need him in the game at crunch time. This guy's a baller and we need him there. If he's going to be the successor of this team once Carmelo Anthony retires or maybe he moves on, whatever the case might be down the line, man, it starts now. It starts now. He's going to have to learn to play defense with his feet opposed to with his hands because he's picking up these unnecessary fouls. And believe me, he comes to play. His play does not go unnoticed. He comes to play each and every night. He's the second leading scorer on the team. He's putting up points. He's out there. I see him. But you got to. You got to stop these fouls. Hold on a sec. It's 9 games in. It's time to show what you're made of, man. I mean, are you the guy for the job? I need you to rally these troops, man. Get it together. You're 3-6 now. You're going to look up. Oh, wait a minute. Got a caller. Good morning. Is there a caller on the line?
Okay. Yeah.
Who's calling? Where you from?
PG. Georgia.
Is this who?
DC, Mr. Ramel.
Hey, DC. How you doing?
Good.
Good to hear you this morning. You got a question?
I do got some questions about some NBA basketball.
Okay, let me hear your first question.
So my first question is, do you think the LA Lakers could be a playoff team this year?
Well, I tell you what, I just was speaking about them. They're playing some great ball. I would have never imagined them to be 6-4 in their first 10 games. I don't know if they can sustain this and maintain this for the rest of the season. But if they keep playing like this, DC, yes, they will be a playoff team. I call them the Little Lakers led by Luke. They're playing good ball. I don't have them as a playoff team, but the way they're playing, they just might sneak in.
I think they could make it to the first round, Mr. Ramel.
Okay. That's a strong prediction there, but I can't blame you for saying that because they're playing some good ball right now. But we're going to see down the line if they can maintain it. But they are playing good.
Okay. My second question is, do you think Joel Embiid, because I know Sixers ain't going to make it to the playoffs, do you think Joel Embiid could dominate the league soon if he gets a better team that's built around him?
I've seen a couple of games of him. I got to tell you something. I'm very impressed by this guy. I think that if the question with him is going to be a lot like Anthony Davis in New Orleans, if he can maintain his health, if he can be healthy. I've seen enough of him to say that this guy is going to be a problem for the league in the future. He's a big guy. He's very athletic. He's got a nice range on his jump shot. He's a good finisher around the rim. I think that his first question is going to be if he can stay healthy, remain healthy. And then the other thing is too, I'm a strong believer. This might be me being old school, but I think that your big man is as good as your point guard. Because a lot of times your big man got to be set up by your point guard. So if he can get a point guard there that can get him the ball where he needs to have the ball, whether the team is good or not, he's going to wreak havoc on the league. I'm impressed thus far.
Yeah. And he's a rookie this year, too, so he can never play.
Yeah. I mean, he's a rookie. He would look nice in a Laker uniform, I tell you that. He really would. He really would look nice in a Laker uniform. I doubt that happens, but I think we're going to see a lot from this kid in Bleed. But again, he just has to remain healthy.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people think the Warriors are going to be just dominating the league. Now, yes, they do have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond, but are they going to be able to really dominate like they are with their bench?
I really believe that the substitution pattern for Steve Kerr is going to be very important. You know, when you got those four players in the starting lineup that all made a all NBA team last year, what you have to do is at all times you have to have at least one, if not two of them on the court at all times. So when you go to the bench, you have to have one of them on there so that can balance the bench out. But going forward, I really think that the Warriors is going to dominate. They're not going to have a problem on most nights. The only concern that I would have with the Warriors is if they play a team that slows them down and play half court, because their strength is going to be running, and then that's when their center Jaja is going to get exposed on the defensive end, and we've seen that in Game 1 against San Antonio. But as long as they keep 1 to 2 players on the court, 1 to 2 starters on the court at all times, they'll be fine. Good question.
They got decent defense. I mean, they got decent defense, but it ain't the best.
No, it's not. It's not as strong as last year. It's not as strong as last year.
Yeah. And do you think that San Antonio, if they run into the LA Clippers in the playoffs, I mean, do you think that the Clippers could beat them or take it to Game 7, or Spurs can sweep them?
I don't believe in the Clippers. I think that the Clippers is going to break up after the end of the season. I never thought that the Clippers and Doc Rivers was a good marriage. I thought Doc Rivers is more of an East Coast coach, and he doesn't really fit a West Coast team. The Clippers wants to run. He wants to slow it down. I don't believe in the Clippers. The Clippers did knock off San Antonio 2 seasons ago in the playoffs. I think San Antonio avenges that if they were to meet again. Again, I'm not high on the Clippers.
Alright, now I'm gonna ask something about your favorite team, the Knicks. Do you think that they could win the title contenders in the East?
You know what? The Knicks is my team, DC, and I'm gonna tell you what. I'm ride or die with them. They're always going to compete in my eyes. But the truth of the matter is, they got a long way to go. I don't know if this club really is a symbol, right? I don't know if they match. Some nights I'm looking at them and it's like trying to eat cereal with a fork. It just doesn't work. It doesn't match. They got a lot of talent on paper, but I mean, paper don't win games. They got to get it together. Right now, they're missing chemistry. And, I understand that they got 3 new starters, 5 rookies on the bench, and then 2 other players on the bench. Really, it's only 4 players from last year, 5 players from last year that return. That's Melo, that's Porzingis, that's O'Quinn, that's Thomas, and that's Sasha. And when you bringing on 8 to 9 new players, especially 5 of them rookies, and 1 coming off an injury, I don't know if that's a recipe for a great meal. It might be a recipe for disaster. But it's going to take some time with them. Do I think they're a playoff team? Yes. Title contenders? No.
Thanks for having me on the show, Mr. Ramel.
Man, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Call up again, DC.
I'll be calling soon.
All right. Yeah, take care. Have a great Sunday.
All right, bye, man.
And there you go, guys. We had one of the youngins call up, and let me tell you something, man. Move over, Ramel. Move over. It might be chopping it up with Ramel and DC. I mean, he had some good questions, some good points. He asked his questions. He was precise in what he wanted to know. You could tell that he's following the league. You can tell that his interest is basketball. And if I know DC correct, he's probably about 8 to 9 years old. And he didn't sound like the person that was 8, 9 years old answering a question. Welcome him anytime to anytime. Call again. Please do. I mean, he asked some good questions. And then he asked a question about my team and put me on the spot. But again, like I said, I may be a fan of the team, but I'm a fan of the sport first. And I'm going to give it to you straight. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. So as we were talking in the association, again, I was on the Knicks, and I tell you what, man. I couldn't sum it up any better than that. I think they're a playoff team. They have to get chemistry. Jeff Hornacek needs to work on that right now. They're not title contenders. Do they have enough talent on the team to compete? Sure. But without chemistry, it's not going to get there. It's not going to get there. So I'm going to move along to the NFL, the Shield, because today is the day. Today is the day that either you're serious, or let's put it there, you're either contenders or pretenders. Either contenders or pretenders. Okay? Here's what happened. Starting off, you got Philly and the Falcons. The Falcons is going down to Philly. Philly's my team. This is a must win. You're in your field. You're not on the road. You need this win, Philly. Atlanta's a high-flying offense. They're a good team, top 5 in the league. But if you're made of anything, Philly, today's the day to show that. Today is the day to show that. Washington and Minnesota, another great game. Minnesota came out the gate similar to what Philly has done, just to see loss after loss after loss. You know, this was a team that everybody was like, wow, Minnesota. And now they're falling on hard times. So they're going to have this win, come back, and try to beat Washington. And meantime, Washington needs to win and stay in the playoff race as well, because the Cowboys are playing extremely well. The Giants is playing well. Washington's going to need this win. And if Philly pulls off the win and Washington doesn't, then they flip-flop in third and fourth in the division. So Washington needs this win as well. So that's going to be a good game right there. And then a sneaky game that's coming up, and that's going to be Kansas City at Carolina. I said it before about Carolina. I think this is where Carolina, if they want to get back into the playoff races, they're going to need this win today. Is there a call on the line?
Yeah, this is Fred from New York.
Fred, welcome to the show. How are you?
All right, yourself?
Not bad. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Yeah, man, so what do you think is going on with the Knicks, man? Do you think they need to change up the rotation a little bit? Because I think they do have some guys on the team that's pretty good.
Wow. The Knicks, on paper, they got a quality team. They got some players. If I was to make a roster move, maybe I bring Courtney Lee off the bench and start Justin Holiday, just because I think that Courtney Lee can provide a little bit of more offense off the bench than Holiday. And I think what happens a lot of time when Jeff Hornacek goes to the bench is stagnant, and they don't really have anybody who can look to score. So maybe I would make that move, but really, they need to make a trade. Fred, I don't know if you realize this, and I was just speaking on it moments ago. The Knicks have 8 new players on their roster. Actually more than that. They have, about 8 new players on their roster. 5 are rookies. 5 are rookies. 1 is coming off an injury. And so that might lead to what we're seeing. They probably need chemistry more than anything else. But that could be a recipe for disaster anytime your bench has 5 rookies on it.
I do think they do have potential on the bench. It's like you said, it's probably more leadership they're looking for. But I do think they do have that type of talent. And Hornacek, I give him credit because he is trying new things and he is trying to get a second group together that works well together. I like the guy Hernandez Gomez. I like him. I think he's pretty physical, okay. And I think he should be getting some more burn.
Okay.
And I do think that he did do that. I think the previous game before yesterday, and I think he's going to be a legitimate star at one point in his career.
Okay. The few times that I saw him, he kind of disappointed me. He looked a little bit scared. The same with the guy from Lithuania. But these guys are from Spain and Lithuania, so they may have to make the adjustment to the United States, to the NBA.
Right.
But one thing you can see with the both of them, Fred, and this is probably what you're noticing, they have talent. By all means, they have talent. If they didn't, they wouldn't be in the NBA. But they do have talent. I think they have to get over that initial shock that, hey, I'm at the NBA, at the Garden, the world's famous arena, and just play ball. Have fun.
Right.
I know it's a business. I know it's their job. But I think they'll get more out of it if they just go have fun.
Right.
I
think the 27-year-old guy, I don't know his name, but the tall number 91. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I do think that he reminds me of a certain player. I don't know was that player from I don't know where he is. He's Russian and he played for Utah and he played for Brooklyn for 1 year. He kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know he bounced around the league a little bit. He could shoot the jump shot. Man, I know who you're talking about. Made quite a few dollars too. Yeah, that's a good call, Fred. I know exactly who you're talking about. See, when I first got wind of this guy, the Lithuanian guy, they call him Kuz. I was hoping he'd be like a Tony Kukoc. You know what I mean? But Tony Kukoc seemed to have a little bit more skill than this guy. But the guy that you're referring to that last played with Brooklyn that came from Utah, the Russian guy. Man, I can't think of his name, and I know exactly who you're talking about.
His nickname was AK. I believe it's AK-47.
Andre Karolinko.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
And he called him AK-47.
Right.
Yeah.
His initials is AK, and he usually, uses the number 47. So
exactly.
That's why I know. So,
that's who it is.
I have another question for you. What do you think about the Giants game? Is it today? Yeah, it's today, right?
No, the Giants play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football.
Okay.
They got the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Cincinnati Bengals is the most disappointing team in the NFL outside of the New York Jets. And this is a team that many people had competing for the Super Bowl, and they got all sorts of problems. They don't listen to their head coach. They're not disciplined. And one thing about a New York Giants team, a New York Giant team, in my estimation, is never out of the playoff hunt until the season is over. This is the time of the year where the New York Giants just seem to go on a roll. Eli Manning gets hot, throws unbelievable passes. He got a guy out there that can catch anything that comes near him. I look for the Giants to hold home field, and I think they beat Cincinnati and possibly start lining the nails up around the coffin of the Cincinnati Bengals. And you might see the Bengals fade from here, and you might see Sherman Lewis out of a job by the end of the season. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And another question. What do you think of this controversy with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott? I think it shouldn't even a question whether, he should still be the starter. What's the talk about when Tony gets better, he should come back? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's unfair to Prescott to be even talking about that topic.
I'll say this, Fred. You sound like a Giants fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm an Eagles fan as well.
Mm-hmm.
As fans of Giants and Eagles fans, we're hoping that Jerry Jones puts Tony Romo in there. Well, I mean, I'm sitting here hoping because you're right.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott should secure this job for the rest of his career. I mean, I'm going to say something. There's a very big game coming up this afternoon at 4:30, and that's Dallas going into Pittsburgh. Fred, as well as Dak has played, I have him as an MVP candidate, let alone a Rookie of the Year candidate. But as well as Dak has played, I believe if he loses this game today in Pittsburgh, Tony Romo will start next week. And that would be a shame. A shame.
That would be horrible. That's like a slap in the face. And honestly, I think it'd be more to it to say, okay, you're out, here's when we come in. I mean, that'll be a disappointment. I mean, honestly. I mean, I am a Giants fan. I love every New York team, even the Jets. I mean, they're at least my favorite, but I do respect them. They're my team in New York.
Nice.
But at the same time, I mean, if I'm on a team as a player, as a Cowboy teammate, I'm gonna question that, and I'm gonna have something to say about that due to the fact that this guy has done, way better. In the last probably 10 years. Tony Romo's done for them. So I think it'll be, crazy. And if it does happen, I think it's just a sign of loyalty and, I guess, promise from Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
My opinion.
And the thing about it is, Fred, and great call and great questions, but the thing about it, Fred, is that if you recall, Tony Romo got his chance to play by the injury to Drew Bledsoe. And when
I remember that.
Yeah.
Vividly, I remember that.
Yeah, and when Drew was healthy, I mean, it was no giving it back. And the next season, Romo did not have to compete for a starting position. So, I'm like I said, as an Eagles fan, I hope they do insert him in there. But as a football fan, and I've said many times on this show, I might be a fan of a team, but I'm a bigger fan of the sport. Game recognized game. Yeah, this kid got game, and he needs to play his game, and he needs to be in the game, and he needs to be given every opportunity to win the game, and he shouldn't have to be scared if he's going to play the next game if he should come up short in any game.
Right.
The kid got game.
I agree. Well, I appreciate this conversation with you. I enjoy your show, and I'll definitely be calling back.
I appreciate you calling in and having you on. That's Fred from New York with a couple of questions. Thanks, Fred. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Take care. And there you have it, folks. Another call. This time, Fred from New York. And I don't know what it is, man. I guess these guys are really listening to the show and watching because, they're coming after my Knicks. But I like that. But a lot of good questions, a lot of good games on today. As I talked with Fred about the upcoming game with Cowboys in Pittsburgh, this is a must-win for Dak, more so it is for the Dallas Cowboys, because I really believe if Dak loses this game, that might be the last that we see Dak unless Romo has an injury later on. I really think Dak has to win this game to secure the season for himself. And that's a shame. But I was talking about the Carolina game. Carolina's 3-5 with 2 wins. They were 15-1. Cam has a pep in his step. If there's a team that can just come from the bottom and get into this playoff race, I'm not going to count them out. Do I think they can do it? No. But I'm not going to count them out. A win here against a quality opponent like Kansas City, who's probably going to try to take advantage of Oakland having a bye week and moving up in the standings and maybe putting a little pressure on Oakland, they're going to look to try to get this win. But, this is the NFL. It's hard to win on the road. I look for Carolina to win their game and continue their march or their surge to try to get into this playoff picture. So that's going to be a good game. The Dallas-Pittsburgh game is going to be a great game. Monday Night Football game, that's going to be a good game with Cincinnati and the Giants. And then you got the Los Angeles Rams going into MetLife today to see the Jets. Me personally, I'm not looking for the Jets to win any more games this year. Just end the season. You know how that goes. But I am curious to see how Bryce Pettit look because quarterback is going to be the unknown for us, whether it's this year, next year. And the thing about it is, if you got a quarterback on staff, let's see what he is. One thing I'll say, every pro player, even if they're in the Hall of Fame, they all have something in common. They had a rookie year. They had a first game. They had a first practice. So who knows? Maybe we got a diamond in a rough right here. We don't know. We might have a hidden gem. So we'll find out starting today, But I have to say, man, this has been a wonderful show. It's been one of the longest shows that I've had with the calls up. I appreciate DC calling in. I appreciate Fred calling in. And remember, I'll see you back here in 24 hours. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel, no nose, straight from the throat. Peace and blessings.